This is the third draft of this video, and to be honest, I'm glad it takes my ADHD brain forever to sit down and make videos, because if it didn't, I would have went and released one of the previous versions, which, after this update, I now realize were way too forgiving. Over the last couple months, with the additions of the Tome of Fate, Town Point Multiplier, and various bundles and cosmetics costing real-world money, there's been increasing discussion surrounding the place of microtransactions in this game. And with the Cauldron update system being added, with $5, $10, and $20 tiers, and most recently, a $5 weekly paid battle pass, we've reached a tipping point where we need to seriously reconsider where the priorities of this game should be. This is coming from a broke-ass college student with a creator code and a financial incentive to want people to buy stuff in this game. If we're at a point where people who actually make money from this are saying it's too much, we've got a problem. So let's get into it and discuss the community's problems with the recent updates, my thoughts and opinions, and what this means for Town of Salem as a whole. So, a lot of the community's backlash against these additions is because they seem to come in place of new roles, cosmetics, or features. From what the general player base can see, BMG is more focused on adding more ways to sell things in-game as opposed to improving the game overall. And if you've watched my recent videos, you know it was in a pretty bad state until very, very recently. And seeing update after update doing little to correct this, yet always having a new item to purchase has allowed this frustration to build up. That's in addition to the group of people who don't like that there are additional microtransactions to begin with after buying the deeds of the town. Originally, I thought this uptick in microtransactions was to cover the cost of adding 2 new devs to the team, something BMG did a couple months ago, but as I've now learned, that's not the case, so there was no reason they needed to be added when they did. I have to assume they're trying to get some money back from the people that installed the game when it was free on Epic a couple weeks back. Even then, it doesn't justify having the highest Cauldron tier cost $35 total in a $5 game. That's completely bonkers. The amount of pop-ups now present in this game advertising things is overwhelming and ridiculous. When you open the game, first, you'll see a banner showing the exclusive skins and town points you get for referring people. When you close out of that, you'll have a daily deal pop-up in the bottom right corner. If you open the Cauldron, you'll be bombarded with a million potions and items all costing real money. I didn't even know it was this bad. I have every item in the game, so my Cauldron screen looks like this. I asked a friend for a screenshot of theirs for this video and was shocked when I saw how many pop-ups there were. I'll excuse the shop showing things that cost real money, cause it's a shop, but there's no reason to constantly be shoving microtransactions in people's faces everywhere else. We would just like to play the game now, please. If you want to sell some skins and cosmetics in the shop, then fine, whatever, it's not affecting anyone else's game. But what bothers me are when we start directly interfering with gameplay with things like mythic scrolls, for example. You can only get them from the Cauldron, and they boost the odds of getting a roll 3 times more than regular scrolls. This means that people who have bought Cauldron upgrades are much more likely to be in possession of these scrolls compared to people who don't buy items with real money. And if, for example, a person with mythic scrolls and a person with regular scrolls of a certain role are in a lobby together, the person with the mythic scroll is going to get that role the vast majority of the time over the other player. I really don't like the idea of people having to pay to have fighting odds of getting to play their favorite role, because you'd better believe the more popular favorites are going to have mythic scrolls of them equipped in every lobby. And if the more popular roles are being taken, you're stuck playing as Dreamweaver every game unless you either get lucky or shell out a couple dollars. That same logic applies to the Tome of Fate and its Cauldron exclusive upgrades. And I want to talk about this new battle pass they added, which isn't a sentence I thought I'd ever say on here. I've seen people defend it, saying, they added a free track. Nobody is forcing you to buy it. You literally got these new perks for free and you're upset. I think those people are missing the point. The battle pass alone is not the problem here. This is death by 1,000 cuts and the straw that broke the camel's back. There does not need to be this many things to buy in a game people have already purchased. And for it to be weekly makes it worse. And sure, right now there are only scrolls on it and it isn't really worth it. But if that doesn't sell, how long do you think it's going to be until there are exclusive skins or pets on the paid track? FOMO is a powerful thing. It's not a slippery slope argument anymore when BMG has a history of going back on things. So, with all of that in mind, out of all the microtransactions in the game, including the Tome of Fate, Town Point Multiplier, Name Change, Boatload of Swag, 2 map bundles, Super Deed to the Town, Enchanted Cauldron, Mystical Cauldron, Arcane Cauldron, Scroll Slots Bundle, Character Potion, Skin Potion, Pet Potion, House Potion, 10 Instant Cauldron Brew, Battle Pass, and whatever individual amount of town points you want to buy, I would get rid of all of these. And also make name changes free, at least your first one. Why was that even there to begin with? It was a thing in Town of Salem 1 too. I had to switch my account name over to Adagio a few years ago and it cost me $5. That's the long and short of it, though. Town of Salem fans are happy to spend a couple dollars to support the game and get some cool perks. I understand that this is a live service game, and a single purchase can make that model unsustainable, but right now, that live service update aspect has been less about adding new content and more about shiny new things to buy, and it isn't justifying itself. A little bit is okay, as long as it's not at the cost of others' enjoyment and isn't overwhelmingly shoved in your face on every screen. I should go back to the Splatoon community at this point. It's exhausting here. Sorry for the bummer of a topic, but I appreciate you listening to it. I'm just popping in at the end here to let y'all know I'm having surgery next week, so I'm not going to be super active. So I'm all good. Like, don't worry about me. Just, I'm not going to be online. Might delay some videos.